Yeah, did you hear this yesterday, Kyle Williams, with the media yesterday?
I heard pieces of it.
I think this is pretty good. I know a lot of people are angry with the guy. You and I are in disagreement a little bit on if he's just the straight go to other things involved. But I think he's really handled himself well. 23-year-old kid. He's the son of Kenny Williams, White Sox GM. Here's what Kyle Williams said as he spoke with the media yesterday.
I'm fine. You know, unfortunate circumstance last night for me and the team, but I'm okay. I'm up to it.
Who did you talk to? Did you consult anybody?
My teammates, and I couldn't be happier with the support they've given me. If anything more, or if nothing more, they've let me know that they got my back, and that, you know, it's not all on me and to not think about that. But I'm very fortunate to have the teammates that I have.
There was an image of you on the ground last night with just laying flat on the ground after it happened. Could you share with us that emotion?
It's one of those feelings that you don't ever want to feel on the football field. You know, it's just to give it up in a situation like that. And, you know, it's painful. You know, we're very passionate about what we do, and we're very passionate about, you know, getting to the Super Bowl. So to be able, or to be that close and not get it done was painful, but something we're going to move through as a team, and we'll be back.
You got to love the fact that your teammates had your back on it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, I got the best teammates in the world.
How do you bounce back from this?
You just bounce back. You move through it. You know, it's one of those things you have to learn from, and you got to take full responsibility for it, which I do. You know, something that I made a mistake on, and I'll move through it. Promise you that.
Did you talk to your dad at all? Anybody in the White Sox organization?
No, I talk to my dad. You know, not the White Sox organization, but talk to my dad, you know, every day. So talk to him, and again, we're in agreement that something that you learn from and you get better from. And
that's pretty classy for a 23-year-old kid. I mean, I was never one who said I felt sorry for the guy. I mean, that's what you sign up for when you play this game. But that was a pretty classy way. It's almost like for me, he scores points. Almost like you ever go to a restaurant and the food is bad, but the waiter makes it pretty good, and you walk out and you go, "I'll try this place again." It's kind of like that to me.
If the food's not good, John, we're not going back again.
But if you got a good waiter, he can make
the waiter was.
No, but he can make a bad situation good. A waiter can at a restaurant, can he? Like, that's what he just did. I mean,
he can make the experience more pleasant, but you're not going back if the food was bad.
Yeah, but if the food is wrong or something, you know what I mean?
If it was a
your
hot
waitress,
really
good,
John, maybe I'm going back for that bad meal. If it's a nice waiter, I'm not going back.
But you know what I mean? Like, okay,
what do you want him to do, John? What did you want him to duck the meeting?
I think a lot of guys. I think a lot of guys would. I think a lot of guys would handle it differently. I think a lot of 23-year-old. I could think when I was 23, I wouldn't have handled it in the way and the manner and in the straightforwardness that this kid has. And look, if I'm a Niners fan, I'm still angry with the guy. No question. I'm not letting him off the hook. But I think the way that he's handled it is a great way, and I think a lot of athletes wouldn't have handled it. I think a lot of guys would have tried to get it.
He's a second-generation professional athlete. His dad not only is the White Sox general manager, but he played professional baseball, went to Stanford. Kyle went to Arizona State, was not a high draft pick. He was a round 6 pick, and you know, when you make a list of, to me, if you're playing a game like they played on Sunday, if you play it long enough, somebody's going to lose the game as opposed to somebody's going to win the game. And that's kind of what happened in the game because of the nature of the playing conditions and just the overall toughness of the two defenses. It was going to be that kind of a game. It could have been Will Blackmon of the New York Giants who fumbled the ball. Unfortunately, it was Kyle. I think, as I said this before, as I make a list of why the Niners lost the game, I put the quarterback at the very top of the list. And I have defended Alex from the beginning. He's had an extraordinary year, but he did not play well enough in this, the biggest game of his career, to win the football game. He had a lot of throws that I just don't see him miss. Typically, he was 12 for 26. He was below 50% in this game. There were a lot of open guys that he missed. Kyle Williams himself on a deep post early in the game, ran right by the safety in the corner over the top, should have hit him, missed him. He missed Delaney Walker later in the game on a wheel route. They got a holding call on the play, first down anyway, but it should have been a bigger play down the field. There was a rollout and a bootleg later in the game to Kyle Williams again, and he bounced it by 3 yards, nowhere close. Alex was skittish, partly because of the Giants' ferocious pass rush, how tightly they covered, but he did not play well. I would give the quarterback a C-, D+ in this game. He did not play well. If he makes a couple of plays, they win the game.
He's a bigger GOAT than Kyle Williams?
In the bigger picture, he had more snaps. It's obvious to everyone. My wife watched and said, oh, that poor guy, he lost him the game. It's obvious to everybody what he did. He fumbled the ball twice. I mean, that's pretty obvious. I would say if you sat down with Brad Seeley, their special teams coach, I'd ask him why in a rain game like this, when it's so hard to look up in the sky and have the raindrops falling in your eyes, you did not have a twin return man back there with him. The first punt that he went off his knee late in the game,
that was the
14 to 10, 11-11 to play in the game. He needed to catch that ball out of the air and not let it drop. He needed to be more aggressive. The way to diffuse that was to have a second guy, like the New York Giants did the entire game, whether it was Aaron Ross or Will Blackman. Every single time they had a short guy in front of him. Antrell Roll, number 26, the entire game was the short guy because the punts may come short. You may set up where he typically is going to hit the ball, but Weatherford, because of the rain, the wind, the drop of the ball, the slippery field, he may not nut it up. He may not square and hit it the way he normally does. It may be a short ball, and you want that field position. You want to catch the ball in the air, not let it land. He let it land. The gunner, Devin Thomas, was slow to get on him, and he kind of thought, maybe I could scoop it up and go run with it, which he should have done. He should have been more aggressive. He should have gone and picked the ball up quickly. Yeah, because he backed away. He didn't do either. He got caught near a live grenade, and it wound up hitting him. The mistake he made was after the ball hit his knee, he had to go get the ball. I don't know if he was trying to dupe everybody into, that didn't really hit me. And maybe
he
replay.
Did. It was like, dude, don't you know that there's cameras in replay? Get on it.
Maybe replay won't show it clearly, and it just barely touched him. Maybe he didn't feel it. But in any event, he needed to go pick that ball up. The second
He's
one,
the GOAT.
He just didn't tuck it up. You want to blame, just like the Jordan Williamson, young Stanford freshman kicker. He misses the kick. It's obvious to everybody who's half in the bag.
Sometimes there's a fastball right down the middle, and that's the answer.
Blame it on number 10.
Of
Catch
course.
the damn ball, Kyle. Why didn't Brad Seeley have two?
Sometimes it's obvious.
Why didn't Brad Seeley have two return guys back there?
You're overthinking it.
I'm not over it. That's fundamental football, John.
Get away from the
like
ball
that,
and they win.
Did the New York Giants do that?
No, but if you're
they
up
did it every time.
14-10,
Every time they did it. Did they fumble any punts?
No, because you had an experienced guy. But the second thing is, you're up 14-10. The big question is, can the Giants go 80 yards if the Niners don't make a mistake on special teams?
They're capable of doing
Not
that.
Against that defense. Not in my opinion.
Right.
Not against that defense.
They went on their first touchdown drive. They went 69 yards.
Yeah. They wouldn't have done it again. Not against that defense.
Why not?
Because they were playing lights out. Eli didn't know which way was up. They had 6 sacks.
Obviously, you knew ahead of time that ball was going to hit his knee. So you would have said, hey, Kyle, this may not go right. I've seen this movie before. Get the hell out of the way.
You know what?
Don't
I would give him a break if it was another situation, but it was so egregious, the error that he made. As you said, he didn't know what to decide. At that point, after it hits, I agree with you. He should have been aggressive, but once he wasn't, he had to get away from it. He had to.
No, I tell you, he should have caught it in the air, and then when it landed, he tried to beat that gunner, Devin Thomas, who just kind of decelerated a little bit, and he was blocked. If he scoops that ball, he may run by him and make a big play, but he just was passive on the whole thing. He didn't catch it in the air. He let it roll. He did not pick it up on the roll, and then he went over and got near it, so he made a couple of bad plays of being, I think, a little tight, and then after he should have just gotten away from it, obviously, so the ball didn't hit him, and then after it hit him, he should have gone and picked it up. But I would like to ask Brad Seeley, as he's interviewing with Jim Irsay today, to be the next head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. When we leave the dome and go outside and play, Coach, and it's going to rain, do you want to put a second guy back there with your punter just to make sure? Why didn't you do that, Coach, as you're now the new head coach of Andrew Luck?
I want to hit something.
Would that be something if that guy gets luck?
Yeah. I want to hit you with something because Jim Harbaugh said something. You were talking about Alex Smith. Jim Harbaugh said something. Either it's just an innocent comment or maybe it means something. We'll tell you what it is next here in the Wheelhouse on 95.7 The Game, the Bay Area's only FM sports station.